Hey everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Welcome to another episode of our show. Uh, Thank you for tuning in, whether you're watching, listening, whether you're near in the United States or you are in a different area of the world. We welcome you. We ask if you can please smash that subscribe button. That helps us reach more people and get us closer to the goal of wanting to help 3 billion people, at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And thank you so much for being with us on this episode. And thank you so much uh, for taking time out of your day and letting Voices for Voices uh, share conversations, experiences, events. And we're just grateful to have you here with us today. And we hope you're having a great day. Hopefully, you're able to get some relaxation, some self-care, and with the busyness and craziness as we are quickly approaching here in the United States, and depending on religion, that holidays and feast days to be celebrated. So I wanted to talk a little bit about to sing or not to sing. That is the question. Excuse me. Yeah. And so you might be wondering, well, what's this have to do with mental health? What's this have to do with Voices for Voices? What does this have to do with me and you and everyone who is watching or listening uh, at one time or another? And so we're going to get into that. Uh, so when I say the word sing, it's just that. It's our way of singing to a melody, to lyrics, to words that have been written. Uh, and I'm talking everything from, for me being at church and having, the uh, gather book that has songs and the readings or responsorial psalms, and then there's uh, other music that is played throughout the mass, which is what we call gathering together. Uh, and and growing up, clearly not knowing, the customs of the different prayers, the different recitation, where the priest, the pastor, uh, shares and then asks the congregation to respond. And so it's just the ebb and flow of the mass. And there are different parts where there are some singing parts. And that doesn't mean that anybody has to be a great, phenomenal, Grammy Award winning. I mean, we don't have to be the best singer. We just sing. And it may sound like when I try to sing, it just the sound of my voice, just the regular tones that you hear. And that's fine. That's great. And so we're going to get to a deeper message of singing. But first, I want to say that you hear the word sing, we automatically think of, what music are we listening to, where, there's an artist that's singing, whether we, go to a place of worship, and if there is singing, or even, prayers that are recited. Uh, and so growing up, uh, and even so a little bit to this day, being, insecure, thinking and being worried about what others think and how they're judging me. Uh, Singing is one of those areas that it's easy to fall into that trap of, well, that person's terrible. That person's great. I really like that person's voice, how they sing their songs. Uh, and then that kind of points us in a direction of the type of music we like, the the words, maybe the lyrics connect with you on a deeper level than just a song level. Maybe there's deeper meaning. So first off, I just want to say, if you want to sing, sing, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Sing. Nobody's perfect. Again, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. So don't don't think that, well, nobody's gonna like it, or I can't do that and at mass at church. And that was my thoughts for so many years. There, was a period of time where, I fell away from the faith, and uh, when I finally came back, I just started participating more than just being a body at mass. Just, okay, well, I went. Uh, Is everything is everything done? Did I check that box of attendance? And there was always the one area that it wouldn't be singing, it'd be reciting one of the prayers, and that's the Our Father. Uh, and so that was it. That was all that I would really join in, besides some of the basic salutations uh, and at the end of Mass that that happens, and I still wouldn't sing. When I came back to the faith, I wanted to participate more, and uh, so I did. And let me back up a quick couple minutes. So before I fell away from church and mass and that, I was just as I mentioned, just as shy, insecure. People are going to hear my voice, and it's not great. So I'm just gonna, just kind of nod my head and check that box that I attended. Uh, right prior to my mental health crash, whatever you want to call it, uh, my dad had for so many years, uh, and dad's in heaven, and I love him forever and ever and ever. He's still my dad. He's yeah. And one of the things that I did also remember and do remember is at the Catholic Mass, there's usually two readings by members of the congregation around responsorial psalm, which is a uh, just a short response, and then there's words. I'm just trying to keep it as basic as possible. I know I'm not using all the correct terms, but I'm trying to connect. And so there's a reading, which could be short, could be long, and then a responsorial psalm where there's maybe four to six to seven different responses uh, that the person from the congregation is reading, and then the congregation sings part of a song, and then the gospel, the pastor, the priest reads that, and then they give their and share their homily with the congregation. But my dad, he was always on the schedule to read. And over the years, whether it was once a month or uh, once every 2 months or twice a month, or uh, the schedule would be put together. But I remember my dad always stepping up to the plate when it was his turn to read. And it might be part of why I am and why I'm as vocal as I am. And we are voices for voices because I remember and will always remember and getting even, nervous, those butterflies of when he would go up and he'd be walking up to the lectern to read. And then here's, me in a way kind of judging, did he say the right words? Did just all this stuff, people talk and it's, and it's like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't mess up. I hope he doesn't mess up. And he's human. I'm human. You're human. And so we make mistakes, a big deal. But he was one of the ones that volunteered to go up and read in front of hundreds of people when he was scheduled to read. And so to see him up there and be confident doing what he did, he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to volunteer. It was something he wanted to do to give back to God and give back to Jesus, and wanted to. Uh, he has a booming voice and of authority, so people really tune in and listen and watch when he was when it was his turn to read. And so when I was starting to come back to the faith, but before I had my mental health crash, but what I feel led a little bit to it, or was at least a factor, there was a ton of factors. But one of those factors was I wanted to be like my dad. I still do. That's never going to stop. And I was signed up to be a reader. And so the schedule would come out, and I would have, while I was reading at church, at mass, kind of these panic attacks I would get so overwhelmed. I get so hot and sweaty and feeling like I was gonna pass out. Never did pass out, but I felt like I was going to. And it was hard going through that. And towards the end of my reading, I don't know if it was a couple months, uh, or how long I did go through it because I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to read. That's what I wanted to do. And and then the mental health crash came and I backed off the reading and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just am feeling again all this anxiety. And I've already talked on numerous episodes, so you can get over 345 episodes at this point in time, and I talk about all all the mental health aspects of me. Uh, and this was one of them where I was having panic attacks. I was just not just not myself. I was just so nervous and everybody's looking at me and what if I mess up? And all these thoughts that now I don't worry about as much because I realize now that nobody's perfect. And so I don't need to compare myself and ourselves to others as much as I have. There's still the occasional time where I do, but I'm human and I accept that. And you can accept that too. Big deal if we mess up. We just move on. We just go to the next thing. And it takes practice. None of these things happen overnight. So I wanted to and still want to accomplish and do things for not just my dad, my mom, my family. Uh, and so we get back to the singer, not to sing. And that's where participating in mass comes in. So I'm not a reader anymore. I I had again all those panic attacks and uh, that's one place that I at church where I'm okay being a participant, just being an attendee. But then it was again, I wasn't participating in the singing of the different songs, most notably, the entrance and the exit songs are usually the two or three verses, the chorus and all that. Um, and so I wasn't doing that. And then at some point, I decided, what the heck? I don't say what the heck. I decided, why not? And then I started participating and singing the the different parts throughout the mass as well as the entrance and exit hymns. And so just coming from mass and church, where now I'm filming this after I've returned from mass, that I participate as much as I can, as much as I'm comfortable with. And so the message here is do the same. Participate as much as you're comfortable with. Don't worry about what other people think. It's easier said than done. Trust me. I know it. It's much easier to look at somebody, to look down on them, to whatever. It's easier to do that than actually do it. And so I want you and all the other thousands, millions, billions of people that watch and listen to Voices for Voices, that tune in, to do what you're comfortable with. Stay in your comfort zone. It may be every once in a while try something that's outside your comfort zone. So for me at church, I didn't participate in all the aspects right away singing. It would start with, well, do I know this song or don't I know this song? If I know it, then I'm more apt to participate and sing. If not, then I wouldn't. Then I would just stay quiet. And so it would start with that. And then it would get to the point and where I would, say internally to myself, okay, well, I don't know this song, but I'm just gonna sing it anyways, or I'm gonna try to, or just stay on key as best as I can. Kind of like when we recite the Our Father, try to stay on pace and on track with what the rest of the congregation, how they are reciting it, that prayer, that important prayer, formed by uh, you know, divine intervention. And so that's the message. Whether it's singing, whether it's writing, whether it's sign language, whatever way you're able to communicate, and for caregivers, the same thing. However, the person or persons you're caring for are able to share in their own way. That's a voice. The easiest thing when somebody hears the word voice or is told the word voice is somebody talking, like I'm talking now, or our guest talk. But there's so many other forms of voices, and we want to include all those. A voice is universal. Everyone has a voice, whether they're able to communicate like me or like others or not. The main thing is share your voice. Let it be known. If you want to participate in something, then give it a try. If it turns out like when I was, reading and having those panic attacks at church during mass, I tried it. I could, I guess, try it again, but I would just rather not because I know the way my body and mind are that it'll be another date scheduled on the calendar where I'll have to be in front of people that I don't know, and sometimes some of the the individuals' names or locations in those readings are ones that aren't familiar, and so then I would again think, oh, well, I messed up. Justin, you messed up. You said that city wrong. You said that country wrong. You said that territory wrong. You said that apostle's name wrong. Uh, and so for me, I gave it a try. Could I do it now? I probably could. I probably could. I just I just don't want to right now. And that's okay. I'm allowed to make that decision, just like you are. You're able to make that decision. Your caregivers are. It doesn't have to be reading and or being in front of a lot of people. Just that communication, however that is, that the needs are being met of the individuals. So if if you want to sing, sing. If you want to talk, talk. And talking can be again, can be in writing, sign language, verbal, singing, playing a musical instrument, being an actor, actress, uh, musician. It comes in all types of shapes and forms. So when I go to mass, I participate much as as much as I'm comfortable with, and now and at this current state, I participate about as much as I can as being a participant and attendee at mass because I'm not worried what somebody next to me or behind me or in front of me thinks of my voice. And I've grown more and more comfortable with my voice. And that's all that matters. So thank you for joining us. Please be a voice for you or somebody in need. Let's celebrate all voices, no matter what shape or form, what sound, uh, no matter what that looks like or hear it sounds like. Uh, that's what it's about. And so hopefully this evolution that I went through uh, was helpful. If you can subscribe, give us a big thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, let everybody know about Voices for Voices and our movement and wanting to help at least 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And if you've been helped in any way, small, big, medium, large, teeny tiny, let us know. Let us know. So thank you for joining us. God bless the United States of America and all of our individuals that are here. And God bless you wherever you may be across the world. And this is Justin Alnays signing off, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.